Well, obviously not the result that we wanted or the game that we wanted. And I think, at this point we can, certainly it's a game that you're not happy with, but at the same time, as I've said, we want to be the best version of ourselves. And this is one of those situations. Sometimes you need to be reminded what that looks like. And, I think our teams felt good about, how they've been playing, and they should. And by the same token, you don't feel good about how you played tonight.
Welcome in, Hawks fans. Your boy Bryce Willis back at it again for another Atlanta Hawks wrap up. And we're going to cut all the crap. We ain't talking about stats. All that doesn't matter tonight. Hawks lost 136-131 to the 76ers. With no starters. And we played ours. And I know obviously a lot of people are pissed. And it just kills the mood, kills any excitement that Hawks kind of built over the last 3 games winning. Because it just kind of brought you back to earth and reminded you of just issues that have been plaguing this team all year long. There's no other way around it. It's been plaguing us all year long. And today was another example. Like, the Hawks this year have had some just really bad losses this year. Houston game, first game that comes to mind. Dominating them. We blow it. Spurs game, a few weeks ago. Destroy them in the first half. Blow it. Charlotte twice. Scoring 130 plus points on us. In the first game, they had a lot of starters down. Like the Hawks, I feel like every NBA team has, I would say every great NBA team probably has 2 or 3 games that they probably that are bad losses. It's not one of those, hey, a team is competitive, yet you're better than the team, but they're competitive and they just outplayed you on that night. Because that happens in the regular season. Not every team is up for every game. But bad losses, how in the world did they lose that game? And then good teams probably have 5 to 6. And then average teams probably have closer to 8 to 9. And then you have more than that, you're probably a bad team. Or you're not as good as you think you are. I think Hawks are kind of in the average category. They just have had so many just bad losses this year. And tonight was another example. 76ers play no starters. In first quarter, they got off all right. Second quarter, Hawks won at 32-21. Okay, all right, they're playing the way they need to. And then just second half, man, you lost 3 out of 4 quarters against this team and overtime. It's unacceptable. It's truly unacceptable, and it's crazy watching it unfold because you're just how are we playing this god awful? Situational basketball is terrible. Trae didn't make some great decisions down the stretch. He had 20 and 20 tonight. That, to me, you would think if you said Trae Young had 20 points, 20 assists, whoa, Trae was on fire tonight. But at the end of the night, we're talking about plays that cost us the game. And Trae had some of those. DeAndre Hunter was back to that. Whoopie Kaye. Not really much of an impact on the floor. I mean, Jalen had 6, 5, and 4. And he's kind of doing everything. Didn't have the best shooting night, but whatever. It was just one of those games. It was just how do you lose this? And in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter because they're in the set. They're 8th. They're going to be 8th, regardless. Raptors lost tonight, so they're 8th. And so it didn't really matter the result of this game. But it's the fact that you wanted to win this game, because obviously you didn't know if Toronto was going to lose, so you wanted to try to win the game. And then the other team literally said, we'll give you this game. We're not going to play our starters, and you lose. And one of the biggest issues I think this team has, and I've said this, I made this tweet on Twitter, and I'll just say it here to explain it more, is just defensively. Especially our starters, it's we can't guard a soul. And the biggest issue is we can't switch defensively. Boston has multiple guys who can guard 1 through 4, 1 or 2 through 5. Milwaukee, multiple guys can guard that position. It's one of those things where you can try to switch and get a better matchup, but they can still guard you. The Hawks really don't have that. The only person who can guard more than one position, okay, more than 2, is DeAndre, realistically. And even him, he has a struggle. Like Trey, realistically, you don't want him guarding the worst offensive player on the floor. Not because listen, Trey's played much better defensively. So it's not even a matter of like he can't. It's just realistically that preferably you want him probably guarding the worst player on the floor. DeJounte, we've seen against certain matchups, he's not big enough, he's not strong enough to guard certain players. He can guard points. I think obviously that's his natural position to guard, and then he can kind of guard two guards depending on who they are. John, I pretty much think he probably can only guard fours or slower threes, and Capella can only guard traditional centers. So who, like, if you're going against a team that can switch you, like Boston, that's why there's so many bad matchups in the starting lineup. Because they literally can go, they know most of our guys can kill your guys. We don't have that. Our guys that can switch come off the bench. Jalen can guard 1 through 4. Okongwu can guard 3 through 5. Even a guard if he has to. At least he'll put him a fight. Bay can do it. Even though he's not the best defender, he can do it. Starting lineup, they don't have it. And realistically, that's why the front line needs to change. Listen, I love JC. So if he stays, it's not a big deal. Capella, I think, has to go. Like, I think you have to give Okongwu the starting job. Like, I just, you have to. I don't see how you don't give Okongwu the starting job. Only reason why John should go is because Jalen looks like he should be getting way more play time. But at the end of the day, I mean, we don't know how this team's going to be formulated. He may be the 6th and 7th. AJ and him may be the 6th, 7th guy. The top 8 in the rotation will be Bogdanovich, AJ, and Jalen next year, potentially. And I know people are not fond of DeAndre, but at the end of the day, it's like, he has things that you like that could work. I said if the Hawks play Boston, literally you cannot play Capella and John probably over 20 minutes each. It needs to be Jalen playing a lot of minutes, Bay playing a lot of minutes, Okongwu playing a lot of minutes. And then Hunter. Because they could actually switch on Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown and Horford and all the guys they got. You have the starters out there, don't stand a chance. Unless, like that, I've always said, the starting lineup is so dependent on Trey and them just going crazy. If not, the starting lineup struggles tremendously. The bench is better than the starting lineup, and that's a big issue. And people are asking, why won't Snyder go to bench guys to close games? I don't know. I don't know what his thought process is. I don't know how he's evaluating things. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure he sees what we see. Okay, we're playing this team. Yeah, this is a terrible matchup for John and Colin and Capella. Or a terrible matchup for these guys. But I'm going to go finish with them anyway. I don't know what the thinking is. But like I said, he's in year 0. He knows he about to bring his guys, staff in here. He about to get his guys in here next year. So he probably just like, listen, when that happens, we'll see what this team can really do. But tonight's just one of those nights, man, where it's just like, man, like, we play Miami next Tuesday, but I mean, literally, we could come out, beat Miami, play well, play Boston in a few days later. Or we come out, lose that game, and now we're going to be projected to beat Toronto or Chicago. But for all we know, we might lose that game too. This team is just so inconsistent. You don't know what you're getting on every nightly basis. You can't look at something and build. It doesn't feel like they can build off something. Because, like, literally the Hawks will win a couple of games in a row. Like, oh, they're playing really, really well. And then they just have a bad loss. And you're just like, what happened? Like, it's not even like, oh, this is a tough team, it's competitive, and they just got it at the end. It was just like, what? Like, why did we play the way we played tonight? And that's probably the most frustrating thing watching this team, realistically, is that. It's realistically that. How are we playing this bad? How are we playing this way? We should be much better than what we are. So, yeah, we play Boston Sunday. It really don't mean anything. I think they shouldn't play starters, but I don't know what Quinn is thinking, honestly. He's probably like, listen, I mean, realistically, bro, like, he said after the game, we got to get them ready for the postseason. So, I guess that means he's going to play them. Like, well, we got to get these guys some minutes anyway. I guess. Honestly, I'd love to see the second unit start. I'd love to see AJ get 30, Jalen get 30, Okongwu get 30, Aaron Holiday, probably Bay. I love to see that, and I'd love to see Garrison and Vic and Tyrese Martin and Bruno and all them guys getting minutes. I honestly love to. I just want to see what they can do. out there in that, as the guys. But I don't know what Quinn is thinking. But like I said, tonight was just very frustrating. It's like, what this team is. Like, I don't think anybody's looking at this team and think this is a championship team, but it's like, how do you have the talent you have and then lose games the way you do like this? Like, listen, I always say, like, great teams, I always say, maybe has maybe 2 max bad losses. Because, like, it's NBA season, man. Things can happen. Somebody can get hot, and then that's like, but realistically, they're not going to be hot all the time, and that's why you win most of the time. But the Hawks have just had so many games, bro, where it's like, play great, blow a lead. It's kind of crazy. It really is, man, and it's tough. So we just gotta bounce back. We just gotta rebound. We'll see what they do on Sunday against Boston, ESPN, and then on to the playing game against the Miami Heat. Speaking of, whenever the last game happens, probably that Monday, I'll probably drop a video on just previewing that matchup with Miami, what the Hawks need to do to win that game to get to Boston, or and then we'll go from there. But yeah, guys, so that's all I got for y'all tonight. Atlanta Hawks wrap up. It's your boy Bryce Lewis. I'll see you next time.